Greetings, comrades. I am Ngabuto Nicholas Mabena. Is the 1st of July 2025 is my birthday week. In this video, we're discussing the citizenship, and we are focusing on the United States of America. We know that if a child is born on American soil, is automatically an American citizen. But this is now changing. So citizenship in the United States of America is no longer automatic, as was the case. You remember that in the last few days, we've been discussing the issue of citizenship of children born to migrants in South Africa. And we said that it is not automatic. You have to apply. When you apply, it means your application can be accepted or be rejected. So on the 27th of June, 2025, the Supreme Court in the United States handed what the media calls a victory to President Donald Trump and the future American president when capping lower court's power to block executive orders. The article says President Trump was beaming as he addressed the reporters at the White House briefing room podium, calling it a big, amazing decision, which the administration, he says, is very happy about. So this court judgment says that it is no longer automatic that a child born on American soil becomes an American citizen. So it's a significant shift. If you were airborne, the woman was airborne, is already on the American airspace, then gives birth, the child was considered an American. But this is no longer the case. President Trump, in celebrating the Supreme Court judgment, says, I quote, monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law, close quote. The article continues, the court's decision not only impacts Trump's birthright citizenship order, but also emboldens him to enact many of his other policy actions that have been temporarily thwarted by similar injunctions. So if you are a migrant in the United States, you give birth, it is no longer automatic that your child would become an American citizen. What does this mean to all of us? The lesson we draw from this is that we must rebuild our economies in our different countries. We must not rely on others to give us citizenship. And we must not outsource the rebuilding of our economies or outsource the resolution of the political, economic, and social crisis in our own country. Because if indeed we have resolved our own crisis, say in Zimbabwe, there's no longer a political crisis, no longer economic crisis. We will not leave Zimbabwe in the manner in which we are doing. If we take charge of our own resources across the African continent, there will be no need for us to want to go to North America, to want to go to Europe. Therefore, we will not be affected by decisions of other countries. I've noticed in the last few years since I started this channel, YouTube channel, that every time we talk about documentation, many people do watch the videos. But when we talk about politics, very few people watch. And it is politics that is driving us to other countries. Not only politics in Zimbabwe, but in the rest of the African continent. We have many Africans that in the last decade have moved to the United States. The lucky ones that arrived earlier before this judgment, their children born in the United States are now Americans. But for those who are planning to relocate to the United States, it is no longer going to be easy because of the laws that the Trump administration and the other administrations after him will implement in the United States. We see the rise of anti-migrant movements in Western Europe as well. And we know how racist Poland is, where some people move to. But if we sort out our own problems in Africa, in our different countries, there will be no need for this. There will be no need for our young people to think of traveling to study abroad. There will be no need for young people to think of going outside the borders of their own countries for employment purposes. There will be no need for political leaders to go to foreign lands for medical checkups. You know that our own former president, Robert Mugabe, died in Singapore. But had he built a sound economy with the hospitals and the clinics working in Zimbabwe, he was not going to travel to seek medical treatment in Singapore. We know what happened in the last few days when former president of Zambia left his own country, where he was president for a decade, seeking medical attention in South Africa, and he died in South Africa. So this calls on all of us in Africa to participate in the resolution of our own crises in our different African countries, so that we do not become a burden in other countries. You might be watching from the United States of America. Kindly write in the comment section what this judgment of the Supreme Court in the United States mean to you and the majority of foreign nationals that are in the United States. What are the lessons for other countries that are receiving migrants from countries whose economies have almost collapsed? Please share your views. If you are new in this platform, kindly subscribe to this YouTube channel and like this video. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.